dear magical friends, and welcome to your weekend story time on the magical arts. Every weekend we will be bringing stories to life just for you. So let's see what we have today. I'm so excited to share these stories of fairies and fantasies. These stories will ignite your imagination and fill your life with enchantment. The Magical Art of Seduction, Chapter 1. At the yellow caution line, looking beyond my feet into the gap, I marveled at the shiny rails of the London Underground, wondering how they managed to stay so clean. A rumbling emerged from the tunnel, and a warm breeze blew my hair about as the train raced toward the platform. A crowd of commuters formed around me, while I continued staring at the yellow line and into the gap. I tried to ground myself in the present moment. The recorded voice said, "Mind the gap." An image flashed through my mind, opening a door. 2 naked bodies lying on the bed, entangled. A burning sensation in my stomach and chest. Total confusion. What am I seeing? Rhythmic movements of flesh, heavy breathing. Blonde hair splayed across the pillow. But that's my bed, I thought. That's our bed, Anthony. My voice came out as a whisper. There was no air in my lungs. "Mind the gap," the recorded voice repeated. People pushed and shoved to get in and out of the train. I slipped in as the doors slid shut. With the whoosh of the automatic doors, a cold shiver ran through me, like ice on my back. I turned my head to the left. A dark shadow whisked away, sailing into the tunnel. "That's the way to Parsons Green Station, where a bomb exploded yesterday." A man looked straight at me, speaking to me as if reading my thoughts. "Killed dozens of people." I shivered again and turned away, not wanting to make eye contact. Finding an open seat, I settled in and tried without much success to relax. Everyone on the train seemed unusually slack, as if suffering from ennui, except for the young couple fawning over each other. I turned my eyes away in disgust, hating them for being so happy and in love. All faith in such things poisoned inside me. Suddenly, I was in that doorway all over again, standing between the hall and the bedroom. The image of those 2 naked bodies, the rhythmic motion, the moaning, the horror of discovery, the shock on the woman's face, a gasp, a sucking in of breath. Was it my breath or hers? With little volition, my thoughts locked onto the same miserable track I'd been obsessing on for the past several days since discovering Anthony's lies and infidelity. Sacked and jilted in the span of a few hours. The only people worse off were at Parsons Green Station the day before. I searched my purse for the key to the Old Bookshop, then patted down my pockets. Finding it, I slipped the tiny envelope out of my shirt pocket, opened it, and dropped the contents, a brass skeleton key, into the palm of my hand. It shone with radiant light. The teeth had an intricate pattern. A jeweled tassel hung from its end. Turning it over in my hand, I wondered at its untarnished brilliance. Noticing the other people on the train, some staring at me, I put the key back into its tiny envelope and tucked it into my bra, close to my heart. At the designated stop, I disembarked and climbed the stairs to street level, heading in the direction of the Old Bookshop. The avenue split into two crooked narrow lanes, and my body veered left as if it knew its way. I could walk the streets alone forever, watching the remnants of human civilization crumble, falling to the effects of time, the elements, the flora and fauna. My brain hurt from churning over the recent painful events in my life. As I shuffled down the sidewalk, everything quieted around me. The cars faded out of my awareness. Other people disappeared. Another time overlaid the one in which I lived, as if the membrane between two dimensions thinned, and I existed in both at the same time, watching the buildings crumble, the trees and vines climbing up over everything, smothering the ruins in green, the wiry plants weaving through ever-expanding cracks in the sidewalk until I found myself walking the earth, no longer separated from it by cement and asphalt, the air cleaner, the sky bluer, everything peaceful and quiet. I liked the world better that way, allowing me to crawl away and lick my wounds, laying my hand on my heart. I felt the key. A loud ambulance siren dislodged me from the moment, bringing me back to the realities of the human species. The noise, the smell of exhaust fumes, the bustling of so many people on the sidewalk. Searching the signs of the shops, looking for something familiar to indicate the right direction, I passed a row of exotic restaurants, the strong smells of spicy foods pervading the air. Then a row of antique shops selling Victorian mantelpiece ornaments and tapestries. Deep in my memory, I knew my way to the Old Bookshop, having spent many summer days there amidst the dust and moldering pages. It gave me a strange feeling, walking several blocks to its exact location, like awakening from a dream and slowly piecing it together, turning one corner, a memory floating out of the fog, familiar storefronts, the scent of baking bread, the taste of a sticky bun, licking the sugar from my lips, the delightful pleasure of long, drowsy summer days with no rules, no schedules, and no expectations. How far before the next turn? Another memory drifted upward like smoke from the joss sticks my Uncle Jasper liked to burn in his shop of strange antiquarian texts. An apothecary, and the magic potions I imagined they made, stood on the corner with its windows duller and dirtier than I remembered them in the past. Turning right, it wouldn't be much further to the place that would either bring forth wonderful long-ago feelings of satisfaction or sadness about what had been lost in the intervening years. I arrived and stood in front of the shop, recalling its history, or at least the one Jasper told me. In World War II, bombs rained down and destroyed everything around the old bookshop, leaving the streets in rubble except for the premises of Mr. J. Scott. His building, the only one untouched and still standing since Queen Victoria's reign, remained fully erect nearly 100 years later. Painted in gold and flaking off after years of neglect, the letters on the plate glass window curled with great flourish, declaring J. Scott, Antiquarian and Rare Books. Should I change it now to Temperance Scott or just T. Scott? The wind kicked up, blowing dust, bits of paper and rubbish into the air. I covered my eyes and nose to avoid breathing in the detritus of London and waited for the gust to die down. The sight of the old second-hand shop took me back to childhood when I first visited my Uncle Jasper and fell irrevocably in love with books. Several days had passed since Jasper's death and the reading of the will. A stab of guilt reminded me how thoughtless I'd been not to visit him and the shop more often. Tugging the envelope out of my bra, I opened it and dropped the brass key into my hand. I fitted into the keyhole and turned, giving access through the half-glass door in its fading green paint. The door creaked on its rusting hinges, then stopped. It wouldn't budge.